You know how some moms dream about their daughter's wedding day? White dress, flowers, tears. Mine dreamed about control. And when I told her I didn't want a big wedding, when I told her I wanted to skip the overpriced cake, the DJ playing the same 6 songs from 2008, the $1,000 napkins, and instead take a 2-month honeymoon across Europe with my husband-to-be. She looked at me like I'd just confessed to murdering a kitten. A wedding is not about you, she snapped. It's about family. Translation, it was about her Instagram, her bragging rights at Sunday brunch with the church ladies. So when I said we were eloping in Sedona and flying to Italy the next morning, she practically choked on her collagen. Water. She didn't just disapprove, she declared war. I give it 6 months, she said, with that signature smirk she wears like Chanel No. 5. He'll leave. Or you will. You're too stubborn for marriage. I smiled, because the thing about people like my mother, they don't know how much you're paying attention while you let them underestimate you. We got married under a sky so red it looked unreal. It was just me, Adam, and the wind. No one clapped. No one cried. No one posted passive-aggressive photos on Facebook with captions like, "Missing important moments with loved ones today." It was perfect. After the ceremony, we hopped on a plane to Rome, then Venice, then a tiny cottage in the Swiss Alps that had a fireplace and a bathtub the size of a Volkswagen. Every time I posted a picture, my mother commented exactly nothing. But I knew she was watching. She was always watching. When we came back to the States, married and glowing and very much not divorced, we moved into a loft in Portland. Adam started a new job. I opened a small photography studio. And for a while, we lived in blissful silence until my cousin's wedding. That's when she struck. I was barely through the doors of the reception hall when she swooped in like a hawk that smelled weakness. She air-kissed me, of course, then leaned in close and whispered, "Don't worry, sweetheart. There's still time to do it right next time." Next time. Like my marriage was a failed soufflé. I laughed, too loudly. Because if I didn't, I'd shove the wedding cake in her Botoxed face. The thing is, she didn't just want to be right. She needed it. She needed me to come crawling back, admitting she was right about the dress, the guests, the overpriced centerpiece shaped like a swan. She needed a broken version of me. But I was thriving, which made her itchy. And when people like her get itchy, they scratch until they bleed. So I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when or how. But I was ready. Oh, I was so ready. Because you can only be humiliated by someone if you care. And I didn't. Not anymore. What I cared about was making sure she learned something she never taught me. Growing up. Consequences. And the next time she tried to humiliate me, she'd walk straight into a trap of her own making. The trap started with a text. From her, of course. "Brunch? Just us girls. Saturday at 10. I almost choked on my coffee. She hadn't asked me to brunch in years. Not since I told her I'd rather hike the Dolomites than walk down an aisle in heels that looked like medieval torture devices. But I said yes. Because I was curious. And because I already smelled smoke. Saturday rolled around. I wore my best fake smile and my softest cashmere sweater, the one she bought me for Christmas in 2018, and then said made me look too bohemian to ever be taken seriously. We sat at a place called Eden's Table, which sounded pretentious and tasted worse. She ordered a kale mimosa. I ordered black coffee. She complimented my hair. I knew she hated it. Then, in between bites of her vegan quiche, she dropped the bomb, so Adam called me. My coffee paused halfway to my mouth. Did he? I said, keeping my voice casual. Oh, yes, she said, like a cat licking cream off her paw. He said he's been struggling. Marriage is hard, isn't it? I blinked. Once. Twice. Then I smiled, because I realized what this was. She was fishing. She had no idea how we were doing, no clue what our life looked like behind the curtains. But she'd found a thread, some crack, some tension maybe, and she was pulling, and she was hoping I'd unravel. Well, I said slowly, he has been struggling with keeping up. She leaned in like a hungry vulture. Keeping up? Yeah, I said. You know how exhausting it is to be married to someone who's always growing. I mean, I'm practically evolving. Poor guy. Her lips twitched. The twitch of a woman who's just been handed a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. I let her sit with that for a while. Then I stood. Thanks for brunch, I said. Next time, let's do something wild, like honesty. She stared at me like I'd just slapped her with a gluten croissant. But she didn't stop me. She never does when she doesn't understand the rules of the game. And this time, I'd rewritten them. What she didn't know was that Adam and I had hit a rough patch. 2 months earlier, he'd taken a promotion in Seattle. I stayed in Portland to run my studio. Long distance wasn't easy. We fought, we cried, we debated. But unlike my mother's idea of marriage, which was just one long performance in front of an audience, ours was real, messy, intimate, private, and we survived it. We came out stronger, but I never told her that. Wanted her to hope we were falling apart. So she'd lower her guard. So she'd reveal her cards. And when she did, I'd be ready. A week later, she called, fake concern dripping from her voice like syrup. Are you okay, sweetheart? She asked. You've been distant. Oh, the irony. Yes, Mom, I said sweetly. Just planning something special. And I was, a celebration. Not a wedding, not a baby shower, not a promotion party, but something that would finally let her feel the spotlight. Up close, whether she wanted it or not, because some people throw parties to be loved. I was about to throw one to end a war. I sent the invites on a Tuesday. Simple. Elegant. White and gold. You are cordially invited to a surprise celebration honoring the woman who shaped my life. My mother, Judith Ann Carter. I made sure to include all her favorites. The church ladies, the yoga group, her co-workers at the law, firm even Pastor Rick, who she used to flirt with until his wife joined Instagram. The venue? A charming garden cafe. Very Southern class with a twist. The twist was me. I told her it was a birthday brunch. She acted surprised, of course. Oh, darling, you didn't have to. But she loved that I did. You could see it in the way she showed up 15 minutes early wearing pearls and a pastel pink dress that screamed, I still matter. She greeted every guest like royalty. Air kisses. Perfect posture. Laughing a little too loud. She was glowing until I picked up the mic. I waited until everyone had a mimosa, until the little spinach frittatas were halfway devoured. Then I stood by the microphone with a champagne flute in hand. Thank you all for coming, I said sweetly. Today's not really about a birthday. People turned, confused. Judith's smile froze, like Botox couldn't help her now. "This is a celebration of truth," I said, "because for years my mother has given me so much wisdom." She shifted in her seat. I smiled. "She taught me about loyalty," I said, "by constantly doubting my marriage." A few guests chuckled nervously. "She taught me confidence, by telling me I'd never be enough unless I wore the right dress and married the right man." A longer pause this time. I kept going. "She taught me how to handle humiliation, by practicing on me." I looked her dead in the eyes. "And now I'm passing that lesson along." I clicked the remote in my hand. Behind me, a projector lit up. Slide 1. A screenshot of her text telling my aunt she was ashamed of how I threw my life away for a European honeymoon with a bartender. Adam's an engineer. Slide 2. A photo of her whispering to Pastor Rick at my cousin's wedding. Captioned, "Next time she'll get it right." Slide 3. A recording. Audio of her telling her friend on speakerphone how she hoped the marriage failed so I'd come crawling back to plan a real wedding. I let the room sit in silence. Judith wasn't blinking. I ended with a smile. "So thank you, Mom, for showing me exactly what not to become." Then I toasted. To growth, to boundaries, to never shrinking ourselves for approval again. And I drank, while she sat there frozen, trapped. In the spotlight she always wanted. Just not like this. Half the guests left early. Some hugged me on the way out. Others avoided eye contact like I had just declared war on Christmas. But I didn't care. I felt lighter, like I'd taken off a coat I never chose to wear. She didn't call me for a month. Then one day, she sent a text. "Next time you want to destroy someone, just send an email." I replied with a smiley face, then blocked her. Adam and I, we're fine. Better than fine. We're planning a second honeymoon. Maybe Greece. Maybe Tokyo. Anywhere far from women who wear pearls like armor. I didn't get the wedding she dreamed of. I got something better. A life that's mine. A marriage built on truth. And a moment of revenge that tasted sweeter than any cake. Even red velvet.